xRhythms.
Today we are actually going to be talking about rest and what that involves. I don't know about you guys, but I'm stuck in uni and I have a ton of essays piled up. You might be in sixth form or high school and experiencing lots of busy timetables, loads of homework, that sort of thing. And I just wanted to make this video to encourage you guys to take a break, to actually take time for yourself, but more importantly, to actually spend time with God, because He's the one that sustains us, that gives us strength. And I'm going to be really honest with you guys, this is something I found quite difficult and that God is actually currently teaching me, but I want to make your guys' life much easier by giving you a couple of tips and tricks in this video. So tip number one for you guys is to stop feeling guilty when you do take breaks. Now this is the number one point that actually stopped myself from resting. I'm quite a busy person. I liked my task. I like being busy. I like doing loads of different things at the same time. And then when it came to resting, I'd feel guilty. I feel like I should be doing something. But I think as human beings, in order to be busy and to perform the best we can, we really need to take time to rest, to recharge. And I want to say to you guys, if you are feeling guilty, tell yourself that you need this time of rest. In fact, rest time should be a part of your to-do list. In fact, see it as something you should do, and try to make valuable time to sort of rest. I don't know what that looks like for you, but just make sure you put it in your diary and stuff like that. My second tip for you guys is you need to ask yourself how you rest. Now, we're all individual. God has made us differently, and He's also given us different interests and hobbies. And the way I see it is that sometimes rest doesn't always look like sleeping. Sometimes God is actually asking us to do things that we just simply enjoy with no motivation behind it, just to sort of relax and enjoy the gift that God has given us. For example, I'm an artist and I'm also a dancer. So when I want time to rest from like Christian Union work or my degree stuff, I will often paint and dance as a form of relaxation, and it just reminds me that God has given us our gifts and hobbies not only to contribute to this world, but to also contribute to ourselves and to better our character development. And I'm going to be brutally honest with you guys, I have felt such a sense of peace by doing something as simple as like doing my hobbies, dancing, drawing. I'm not sure what it looks like for you. Maybe you're into sports. Maybe the idea of going for a run or a walk or getting fresh air helps to soothe your mind and helps you to step back away from your duties. Just pick something that you know you'll be able to focus on, and you know that you'll be able to meet with God and just lean into His presence while you're doing that hobby. You'll be fascinated to know that often God speaks to us through our hobbies and through our rest time, as well as in the big practical stuff of life, and church and school and all of that good stuff. My third tip for you guys is to realize that our God is not a taskmaster. Yes, He wants us to get stuck in with loving people. Yes, He wants us to do loads of different things and to live our life to the full potential, but He is also a God of rest. Now, for some of you, you might not have come across Jesus before and the way Jesus acts in the Bible, but the common perception is that He was busy. Yes, but He also rested. And I'm actually going to be reading from a small passage today that's actually really helped me to put this all into perspective, from Mark 4 verses 34. And the chapter's called Jesus Calms the Storm. As evening came, Jesus said to His disciples, "Let's cross to the other side of the lake." So they took Jesus in a boat and started out, leaving the crowds behind, although other boats followed. But soon a fierce storm came up. High waves were breaking into the boat, and it began to fill with water. Jesus was sleeping at the back of the boat with his head on a cushion. The disciples woke Him up, shouting, "Teacher, don't you care that we're going to drown?" When Jesus woke up, He rebuked the wind and said to the waves, "Silence, be still." Now, some of you might be really familiar with this story about how Jesus calms the storm, but the perspective I'm actually going to take you guys down is the fact that Jesus was sleeping in the middle of a storm. Most likely the boat probably didn't have a cover over it, so there's probably rain and all sorts of sea breeze like stuffed in his face. You can kind of imagine what that was like. Not nice, but he still slept. And I think this is a kind of metaphor for the chaos of our lives. Like, our lives can be like a turbulent sea, a sea stuck in a storm, and we're on a tiny boat. But how can you see how Jesus rested at this point? He still woke up and actually sorted the problem out, but he rested first. He recharged his batteries, and in fact it is an example to us that God has actually given us permission to rest. He wants us to do it. He wants us to go into the chaos of life having been rested and fully charged and having spent time with him. Now, even if you're not familiar with Jesus in the Bible, we see him rest at multiple different points during his ministry. And I feel like for us, we need to learn how to rest daily, even if it's a 5 or 10 minute thing. Just remember the tips I've given you. Remember that first of all, don't feel guilty about resting. It should be part of your schedule. Number 2, figure out how you rest. And number 3, realize that God is also a God of rest and he will give you peace. Hopefully that was useful. I know it was short, but I'm going to go rest after this, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye!